you seen my childhood? I think I've lost it somewhere. We are still living in a world that is risk averse and where our children are almost too safe. So, how can we get that balance right in our role in protecting them, but also developing their own sense of risk, adventure, and confidence, not fear? Is it even possible? Take yourself back to your own childhood in the days of no mobile phones and no iPads. Instead, we experienced tree climbing and playing outside all day as long as we were home by dark. Did you feel free as a bird to spread your wings without the confines of being told, no, don't do that, or a constant, be careful? What hopes and aspirations do you have for the children in your care or your own children? To feel happy, safe, secure, and loved. A good attitude to learning, to develop resilience, make good decisions, to achieve and be successful to the best of their abilities. But have you considered risk taking as one of those attributes? Have you seen my childhood? I think I've lost it somewhere. We are still living in a world that is risk averse and where our children are almost too safe. So, how can we get that balance right in our role in protecting them, but also developing their own sense of risk, adventure, and confidence, not fear? Is it even possible? For lots of our children, the wheel of their lives and childhood are going around nicely and at a steady pace, but a life event can change that and cause wheels to fall off. We need to become more trauma aware and how we can support our children and families through any life changes to enable every child to experience a good childhood. Are there enough opportunities to make a difference for our children to live their best childhoods? Are they encouraged to challenge themselves? Are there opportunities for quality outdoor play, exposure to nature, allowing imaginations to run wild, a feeling of belonging, a nurturing learning environment, and meaningful interactions? As adults, we sometimes need to take calculated risks, and this can be different for everybody based on gender, age, interests, or sometimes peer pressure. Some of us wouldn't risk doing a bungee jump, but for others, this would be a good calculated risk, especially if we are thrill seekers. Risk and challenge are a natural part of life, and we can thread these through children's lives in a safe way. Risky play enables children to learn about themselves and to figure out what their own individual limits are and meets their natural desire to explore and lead their own play and learning. In 1993, a group of nursery nurses visited Denmark to look at their preschool systems. They were amazed at the impact of their open air culture of early years education. And so, Forest School in the UK was born, a truly inspirational process that also has an abundance of risk benefit. So, if Forest School is working for our children, what does the future hold for it? Our children will continue to reap the benefits of these natural learning environments, and we know there is evidence to support how Forest School can impact positively on children's physical and mental health. The popularity of Forest School shows no signs of slowing down. However, the focus on childhood changed dramatically long before that group of nursery nurses visited Denmark. As early as the 1900s, Baden-Powell's scouting movement, established in 1907, also shares an outdoor approach to play and learning with Forest School. And as we know, an outdoor-based programme is still at the heart of it all. In 1934, German educationalist Kurt Hahn founded a school which inspired the very first Outward Bound Centre. He was motivated to make a difference to decays in society, with one of them being the decay in fitness due to our modern methods of locomotion. If this was a concern in 1934, what would Hahn be thinking of childhoods in modern Britain now? Richard Louv, author of The Last Child in the Woods, explores the growing disconnect between children and the natural world. He introduces the concept of nature deficit disorder, highlighting the consequences of our society's lack of connection with nature. As children spend more time indoors and often engage with digital devices, they are losing touch with nature. It all starts with you. You can use your outdoor learning spaces and your own knowledge to help your children foster a deeper connection to the natural world and experience risky play. Use the power of our natural environments and living things to harness these new delights and opportunities that await the children when they venture outside. For our very youngest, we need to support them to feel relaxed in nature, exploring different terrain and textures, and instead of focusing on safety from harm, consider instead safety to explore and experiment. The earlier they get used to being outside, the sooner their love for nature will develop and they will be less fearful. As we know, parents or caregivers are a child's first educator and play a crucial role in children's early development by teaching basic skills, values, and social behaviours amongst many. When we work with a child, we are also working with their family, and we have a responsibility in supporting home learning and developing a joint understanding of how children learn and develop. We too are always learning. There is never a time when we are not learning, but keep your learning relevant. And if you are someone who doesn't feel confident with outdoor learning and fearful of risk, maybe now is the time to do something about it, to support children's development further and to become the best role model you can possibly be for them. So, what does the future hold? We need to listen to and understand our children's hopes and dreams for what childhood might be like in the future and how we might get there. We hope that society will not be too fast paced for them in a world facing many present day challenges. We and the world already know what we need to do. The future is theirs to shape. If a child never sees the stars, never has meaningful encounters with other species, never experiences the richness of nature, what happens to that child? Richard Louv has given us something more to think about with this quote of his. Can we be the change that some children and families need? Yes, we can. In his dreams, Max imagined a world he wanted to live in where the wild things were. Let's educate ourselves more on risk benefit, nurture through nature, how to support our children to aspire, achieve, and shine, and to have the most fulfilled childhoods possible. And remember, we all have a little bit of wild in us too.